All right, guys, welcome to Kitchen Daddy. This week we're in for an absolute treat. We're going to make a beautiful double brisket sandwich that's going to be packed to the rafters with some wonderful smoked and braised brisket and then slow roast brisket from the oven. Guys, this is a gazillion calories of party in your mouth, and you know it is just going to be unbelievably amazing. So come on, let's get into it. Right, to kick things off, I've actually had to cut the brisket into two pieces because it was too big to get on the smoker, and that's where I got the idea for the double brisket, because here's the plan. Two pieces of brisket cooked in different ways, double brisket. It's not really genius, granted that, I give it that, but it does sound quite good, doesn't it? Right, let's season this up with some salt, a good load of pepper, and some ancho chili powder. Now we want to rub that all over, make sure it's all completely coated. And now we can get the big chunks onto the smoker. We're going to get the thin piece in the oven. And we're going to cook both of these at 225 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's roughly about 110 degrees Celsius. Now we're going to cook the stuff in the oven for about 6 hours. And then we're going to cook the stuff on the smoker for about 4 hours. And the reason for that, guys, is because protein doesn't really take on any more smoky flavor after about 4 hours. Okay, whilst that's cooking, we're gonna make the braising liquid for all the stuff on the smoker. So let's get a large pan on a nice medium gentle heat. We're gonna add a good splash of oil, and let's add in 1 onion, 2 sticks of celery, and 2 carrots, which have all been roughly chopped. We need a pinch of salt, a knob of butter, and a couple of bay leaves. Now we're going to cook that out for about 10 minutes until they've kind of like softened up and got a lovely bit of colour on them. Okay, that looks good. So let's add in 10 cloves of garlic, a good pinch of ancho chili powder. We're going to move that around, get that nice and aromatic for a minute or so. And now let's add in 1 tin of tomato paste. And again, guys, you know, we've got to cook that out for about 5 minutes. So gentle temperature, move that around until it's all combined and it's had a chance to cook out. Now, ideally, I would be using bourbon in this dish, but unfortunately, I've only got a rather delicious sipping bourbon in the house at the moment, and we're definitely not going to be putting that in with the cooking. So imagine we've got a bottle of bourbon, but instead I've got a beautiful bottle of brandy here, which, as we know from the beef bourguignon on the smoker recipe, works absolutely amazing. So we're going to pour over a really good glug of brandy here. Let's bring that up to the boil and let that reduce down by about 3/4. Now I do have something very special here. This is barbecue beef stock, and I made it recently because we went to a barbecue restaurant. I had this barbecue ribs, and I was like, you are not taking those ribs. I am taking them home, and I'm gonna make some stock out of them. So if you wanna know how to make it, just basically click on the link here. That will take you to the roast chicken stock. Substitute the chicken bones for barbecue beef ribs, and that's gonna be perfect. And you can do the same with, you know, barbecue pork ribs as well. They're going to be absolutely amazing. So if you don't do that, seriously, do not sweat it. Just use beef stock instead. Now I've probably got about 2 litres of beef stock here. Right, let's bring that up to the boil, knock it off the heat, and then we can pop that aside until everything is finished smoking. Right, let's have a look here. Right, they look absolutely sensational. So let's get them off. We want to get them into the crock pot. Let's cover that in the braising liquid. And now lid on, and we're going to cook them for probably about another 4 hours or until they're tender and falling apart. Right, guys, day 2, welcome back. Now, last night I did a little bit of work which we didn't get on film because you don't need to see all of this, but all I did was just take the meat out of the oven. We let that cook for about 6.5 hours. It then cooled down, rested into the fridge. Then for the smoked braised brisket, I just fished that out of the braising liquid, passed all the sauce and the vegetables through a fine sieve, you know, give that a good squeeze to get out all that juice, and then I'll pop that in the fridge. So we've got them here. This is what the meat now looks like. And then here we've got the strained cooking liquid. And as you can see, this is now covered in orange fat. That's the smoky orange fat. So we want to strain that off because we don't want that going into our sauce. Make sure you do not throw that fat away, because do you remember the smoked oxtail fat fries I did? In fact, click up there. This is what you want, guys. You do not want to waste that fat. It is absolutely sensational. So make sure you just pop that in the tub, get that into the fridge. Anyway, it's time for us to make our double brisket sandwich. Come on. Right, here we go, guys. I've got a lovely thick piece of our roast brisket, which I've just cut off, and then we've got about half a piece of the braised brisket as well. So let's get a big knob of butter into the frying pan. We're gonna get our meat in there and very gently bring that back up to temperature. So the great thing about this, guys, is that roast brisket, that's gonna get a nice little sear on that as well. So you're just adding a little bit more flavor. Right, that roast brisket is done. That's beautifully reheated and just falling apart. So let's get that onto a plate. I wanna pour off nearly all of that butter. Now let's get that back on the heat, and we're just gonna pour over a few ladles of that beautiful cooking liquid. And guys, we've done this a million times before. You know what we're gonna do. Grab your spoon and we're gonna baste, 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 baste. That's all we need to do, is just keep basting that meat until it builds up that wonderful, rich, sticky glaze all over it. When it looks like that, you know it's time to build our sandwich. Right, first up, we're gonna add some garlic mayonnaise onto our rolls. And guys, I don't remember which video it's on. I'll find it and I'll stick a link there or link below. Now we can just pile over our beautiful smoked braised brisket. Let's add a couple of thin slices of Gruyere cheese. Top it off with our roast brisket. And of course, we need to finish that off with some pickled red onions, and let's get a little bit poncy and add some micro herbs. Right, guys, look at that. 2 days to make a sandwich. You have got to be kidding me. I don't think we're gonna do brisket again. Well, we'll see how good it tastes anyway, and then we can decide. So I'm gonna have to cut this in half, guys. I mean, I would love to do, oh, come on then, we'll do it. We'll do the old Guy Fieri. God, that looks good, doesn't it? Ready? What did I tell you, guys? It is a party in your mouth. That, you know it. You knew it as soon as you saw it being glazed in the pan, that was just going to be incredible. Get in the comments. Give us a thumbs up. I will see you next week for something hopefully a little less time consuming, but equally spectacular. Guys, go to the Kitchen Daddy website, kitchen-daddy.com, and sign up to the Gastro Club if you're not a member already. You've got to become part of the crew. Come on, guys, get over there, do that. That would be amazing. Take care. Bye-bye.